Let's talk about a particular group in the workforce who are often overlooked. Because you really don't hear a lot of this particular type of group talked about when you're doing a weight loss or type of a weight training program or any type of meditation or mental health. And that is shift workers. So those who are working, whether it be your 3 to 11 or your midnight shift, sometimes they are overlooked. Having, in my past occupations, done my share of shift work, done a lot of midnight shift, it can take a toll on you. So let's go over the impact of shift work and stress levels. And as always, I have my trusty teleprompter right here. Now, of course, shift work, it affects the worker's health, particularly the stress levels are significant and they are very concerning. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to explore how shift work is going to contribute to these increased stress levels. Now we understand shift work. Anything out of the normal 9 to 5 is going to be shift work, or if you're doing rotating shifts. I remember when I was at the police department, we did rotating shifts. I think every 3 or 4 months, we rotate from days to swings to midnights. Of course, midnights was kind of fun because everyone would say, hey, the flagpole is in bed and you're kind of out there running the show. It does take a toll on you. And I'll get into that one in a little bit later. So anything out of your 9 to 5 schedule is going to be considered, of course, shift work. So particularly with midnight shift, it's going to disrupt your circadian rhythm, which is basically your body is, hey, when it's daytime, I'm supposed to be awake. And when it's nighttime, I'm supposed to be asleep. Kind of regulates your biological clock. So where did shift work start? This wasn't something new that started in the 50s or the 60s. It actually goes back a little farther. I found this one pretty interesting. And the shift work these people had to work was crazy. And here it goes. So modern day shift work goes back to the 1800s. Back to the steel and textile industries where, hey, we got to get more production. We got to get more done, get more out there, sell more, make more. And they worked days and nights. They did 2-week rotations. Now listen to this one. They would do 13 days with a 24-hour shift. Then they would work 13 nights, and then they'd have 1 day off at the end of that cycle. To do what? Turn right around and do the whole thing all over again. That would be absolutely insane. So what are some of the stresses that it can cause? As I said before, you've got the circadian rhythm disruption. This is our body's biological clock. You're supposed to be awake when it's daytime and asleep when it's nighttime. And the nature of the shift work, of course, it's going to disrupt the natural rhythm, our internal clock, and this sleep-wake cycle that gets disrupted also messes up a lot of psychological process. This disruption is a primary factor which contributes to the stress experienced by shift workers. I remember when I was with one agency I was on a permanent midnight shift, 6 at night till 6 in the morning, did that for about 3 years. That was a rough one. There was a period of about 3 or 4 months where I would get 4 hours of sleep, and it wasn't all at one shot. It was tough. And if you stick around till the end, I will tell you what my doctor told me to do in order to help me get some better sleep. And it worked. So hang out till the end, and I will let you know. So we have our circadian rhythm disruption. Now, the misalignment, this can lead to chronic sleep deprivation, which is what I experienced. I'm sure there's some of you out there who've also experienced it as well. This is a significant source of stress. Lack of your sufficient restorative sleep is going to impact your cognitive functions because you're going to be groggy. You're going to be moody. It's going to affect your mood and your overall health, which is going to lead to your increased stress levels. Now, social and family life interference. While your family and friends are out doing, whether they're going to a cookout, going to a function or something else, you're having to sleep during the day while they're out enjoying themselves. Now, there may be some times where this could benefit to where maybe your family's like, man, I really don't want to go to that cookout. I don't want to see so-and-so. So you could be the excuse. Yeah, I got to get back. Yeah, Mike's working midnight shift. He's going to be waking up pretty soon, and I kind of want to be there when he gets up. So it could be good, could be bad. Depends on that current social situation. And then, of course, you can have the physical health problems from it. There have been numerous studies, I've got 3 of them I'm going to go over, that have linked shift work to some various health problems, such as a cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, and gastrointestinal problems. And it's the constant stress of managing these health issues can further exacerbate your overall stress levels. And I can attest to some of those from doing that 3 years of midnight shift. It was actually pretty rough. So here are 3 studies. So study 1, published by Smith and others in 2018. It was published in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology, found that shift workers reported higher levels of stress compared to your daytime counterparts. Reasonably so. The disruption of normal sleep patterns and the subsequent sleep deprivation were identified as major contributing factors to increased stress. Study number 2, done by Knudsen and others in 2019. This research was in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, which indicated that night shift workers had significantly higher cortisol levels, which are your markers for stress, your stress hormone here, about your higher cortisol levels, compared to those working regular daytime hours. The elevated cortisol levels were attributed to the body's response to irregular sleep patterns and the need to remain alert during the nighttime hours, which we were talking about the irregular sleep patterns previously. Pardon me. And study number 3, which was done by Wang and others in 2020. An article in the BMC Public Health reviewed the long-term effects of shift work and conducted that prolonged exposure to irregular work hours is associated with chronic stress, leading to higher incidences of depression and anxiety among shift workers. I'm going to read that one again. Leading to higher incidences of depression and anxiety among shift workers. And the authors also emphasize the importance of considering mental health support as part of shift work management. So what are some things that we can do to help us possibly get better sleep? One thing that I did not do, of course, proper sleep hygiene. Everyone tells you you want to have, hey, you want your bedroom to be dark. You also want your bedroom to be cool. And something else, and I didn't do this, you don't want to eat immediately and then go and head to bed. You think it's going to be great. It's going to help me go to sleep. It's actually going to make it worse. I, for example, would come back from shift, eat as much as I could, and then go lay down. It worked for a few weeks, and then after a while, it slowly got worse. The room was dark. I blackout curtains, the whole 9 yards, and kept everything cold. It did sort of help, but the irregular sleep patterns did kind of kick in. So a few things to do. Don't use any of your electronic devices about an hour before you're getting ready to lay down. I know it's kind of difficult to do these days, but go ahead and do your best to give it a shot. And try to eat at least, be finished eating 2 to 3 hours before you actually go to bed. Because then as you're going through the digestion process, your body heat will kick in and it's going to keep you awake. Didn't really think that through back in 2008 and 2009. And if I'd have known then what I know now, I would have probably gotten better sleep. So what my doctor told me, because I went to him and said, hey, I'm having trouble sleeping. First words he goes, well, we got Lunesta and we have Ambien. When I want neither one of those. Everyone's heard about Ambien stories. I don't want it anywhere near me. So now remember, always check with your primary care physician before you try anything. When it comes to trying to get you better sleep, it could work for you for daytime too if you're having trouble getting to sleep. But if you're on the midnight shift, you're trying to get to sleep, this is what my doctor told me. It was pretty interesting. So, of course, melatonin. I think I had 3 milligrams of melatonin. Said, get some valerian root. He warned me about the valerian root capsules and said they are going to smell. Yes, they do. They have the horrible smell. Absolutely horrible. But valerian root capsules and chamomile tea. And how he told me to brew the chamomile tea was, of course, get your hot water, put your tea bags inside the hot water, and then cover it with a saucer. Because then that's going to allow the steam to keep all of, everything nice and good that's going to help you get to sleep a little better inside instead of evaporating off. So I tried that, and he did tell me, he said, it's going to take about 3, 4, maybe 5 days for it to really kick in, and then you'll start to feel the effects of it. He was correct. It was about 4 days, and then I could lay down and actually get some pretty decent sleep, maybe 6, if I was lucky, 7 hours. So there you have it. There are some of the stressors involved with shift work. And if you try out the melatonin, chamomile tea, and valerian root, or if you've done it before, let me know what you thought, or let me know how it worked. Thank you. You have a great day.